The show that inspires, educates, and innovates. You're listening to the Hemp Chat. I'm your host, Derek Cross, and welcome to the show. Welcome back to the Hemp Chat. I am your host, Derek Cross. Hempy, Hemptober. That's right. Woo! The month of October. Everybody's out there with their harvesting. Their hemp harvesters are out in the fields. Crews are out there gathering up their goodies from this year. Anywhere from growing from agricultural hemp for seed and fiber, and CBD and CBG and CBN. Those crops are all coming in for processing. And in California and other legal cannabis states, they're growing for medicinal cannabis. And our last guest, Shady Ramey, was, if you didn't catch the show, please do. She is a culinary cannabis cuisine professional chef, and she's been doing some great innovations. You can check her out at shadyramey.com, or you have to go and check out hempcanchangetheworld.com. Get that, hempcanchangetheworld.com. And her new book is on there. Hemp Can Change the World. This is all the recipes in this book are vegan and gluten free, okay? And many of the recipes are paleo and keto friendly. This is a 100% carbon neutral cookbook. And it's an amazing project that she just got done with. And I want to say thank you. And I look forward to my signed copy. I hope you get that to me. If not, I'm going to have to go purchase it. It's on 100% hemp paper. She beat me to it. It's amazing. My hat's off to her and all of her beautiful, beautiful things that she's doing in this space. I want to just say thank you, Shady Ramey, once again for being the individual you are, educating, innovating in the hemp space. All right. So now we move forward to our next guest. All right. We are going to be talking and taking innovations even further in this space. Adeeb Karam is our next guest. His company is Intra-Leaf Whole Leaf Relief. Yes, that is correct. You have got to check it out. These are some amazing products. I was gifted, by the way. Thank you very much, Adeeb, for gifting me this beautiful cannabinoid clay. I mean, it's almost odorless. It's amazing. And that's some of the things we're going to talk about on this episode is his company, headquartered in Northern California's lush Santa Cruz Mountains. Intra-Leaf is a privately owned manufacturing company dedicated to developing topicals that take maximum advantage of the beneficial cannabinoids contained in the hemp flower. That's right. And the way he does it is amazing. Intra-Leaf's popular topicals have been the unique and differentiating characteristics of being oil-free, fragrance-free, and virtually odorless. True. Full-spectrum CBD and fast-acting and long-lasting. And, you know, I've been having some shoulder pain. I had a little scooter injury. Been putting it on my shoulder. And, you know, the great thing it does go into your skin really, really nice. Non-oily. It's a great cream. He has a cream and the cannabinoid clay. So this is going to be a great show. You guys are going to want to stay tuned, hear more about it, and definitely get out there and support this great company. I'm telling you guys, www.intra-leaf.com, or you can email them at info@intra-leaf.com. And you guys are going to love this. You can check it out, okay? Enjoy this show. Enjoy everything that we're trying to put out. All the content is fresh content. Information, we try to get you the maximum information in the hemp space as possible. As you know, our sponsors, we thank and love Canaf Partners USA, what they're doing in teaching and taking advantage of every sustainable method that we can out in the fields. tinyhemphouses.com. John Patterson, we want to say thank you. Also, we want to thank Eco Envision, HD Innovates, Colorado Hemp Tea, and we want to also include Hemp Sense USA and Hemp Sense. I'm telling you guys, hempsenseusa.com. If you're looking for really off-the-cuff new innovations, 100% all-natural cat litter, 100% all-natural hemp, animal bedding. So if you got little critters, big critters, this stuff will bed it all. I'm talking and telling you guys, there's so much great product coming out of that space. The innovations aren't stopping, and that's a beautiful thing that hemp will continue to do and shine in the next generations to come. It's just going to be a better world, and that's what we're here for. And as you guys know, my mission is planting seeds of wellness for the people on the planet. So as you know, let's go ahead and plant it. Stay planted in your seat or whatever you're doing. Chill out with us. Relax. And I hope you guys enjoy this next episode with Intra-Leaf and Adeeb Karam. Thank you guys. Buckle in and have a great Hemptober. You're listening to the Hemp Chat, a podcast that inspires and educates utilizing agricultural hemp. We're here to provide meaningful content for you to pursue your passions. My name's Derek Cross, and I'm an educator in the field of hemp. I'm sitting down with others so that they can discuss their lessons that they have learned and their experience utilizing hemp in their fields, impacting their community, and helping others develop and craft their skills, and giving you the knowledge to be healthier and happier. And we are planting seeds of wellness for the people in the planet. So go ahead, plant it. Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Derek Cross, and thank you again for joining us on the Hemp Chat. As we are keeping things going in this space, we thought it would be a great opportunity to have a guest on that can share some of their insight and where they're wanting to be helping people in the space. And it's a company called Intra-Leaf, and Adeeb Karam is the founder of the company, and he is specialized in making these creams and salves, and he does much more. We're going to dive into it in the kitchen. His background is, I'll let you tell us a little bit about what you have going and how this all started for you. So if you want to start there, what is your background and how did you get into the CBD game?
Hey, Derek, thanks for having me on the show. I'm a fan. I appreciate the opportunity. My background is in high tech. I worked for companies like IBM, SAP, Business Objects. I was a data architect for them. And about, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, I decided to open up a restaurant in my local hometown. And we had it was a fun thing to do. We were voted Business of the Year. I got check this out. You'll find this really cool. I got Best Chef in Santa Cruz County. Our restaurant got Best Vegan Restaurant in Santa Cruz County, which is pretty hard to do. I don't know if you're familiar with Santa Cruz, but we have a lot of good vegan and vegetarian restaurants. So that was a lot of fun. And the way I got into this is one of my customers, as you know, in Santa Cruz, there's a lot of growers, was a grower who wanted me to make a hot sauce for him. He wanted me to make a cannabis hot sauce. And I was hesitant, of course, because I was really focused on the restaurant, making some really good, healthy food. And but I was curious. I wanted to see if it'll happen. So I made a hot sauce, stumbled the first time, really good the second time. And the rest is kind of history. I can tell you a little bit more about it if you know, but that's kind of my background, and that's how I got into cannabis.
Oh, well, being out in California, having it been legal since 1996 for medical purposes. A lot of people have been, not everybody's a smoker. So that's a good thing to focus on to get cannabis into your system via
And
edibles,
honestly, the grower was suffering. The grower was suffering from cancer, and that was kind of my decision. The fact that he wanted to be able to eat and enjoy what he was eating. And as you know, the edibles didn't get really good until the past couple of years. For a while, the edibles were just absolutely terrible. And now people are starting to learn how to cook with it. And you got your chef coat on. I'm sure you're cooking with it. You're making some good stuff as well.
Just in the hemp space. I live in Texas, so cannabis isn't legal.
Okay.
I'm cuffed at what I can do, but we're working with the hemp protein powders, the hemp seed, and the hemp oil. That's how it started for me. And it was like I was telling you earlier, it's on my skin, and that's how I started with the hemp. And what you put on you must go in you. And what we put in our bodies and the foods we eat really determine how healthy we are. We never know what when our expiration date is, but we can try to be the best to our human being and others by using plants like this and that actually are beneficial to, the health and well-being of us. And that's, I think it's great to eat it. I love to eat all different types of foods, but when you make a hot sauce with it, holy cow. Yeah. That sends cannabis up a notch, I bet. So what is the intensity factor of something like that?
As far as heat?
Yeah, as far as heat. Yeah, when you're cooking with cannabis, when you put it in a hot sauce, what do people expect? What kind of results and how much do they use?
So here's the thing is that when I made the hot sauce, I stumbled onto something, honestly. Like what I stumbled on, I think is going to be revolutionary in the industry. I really do, because I was able to manipulate the flavor, right? And when you're, as you know, as a fellow chef, when you manipulate the flavor, you're also manipulating the smell, right?
Right.
And I'm not doing this in using some lab equipment. I'm doing this in the kitchen. It's something anybody can do in their own kitchen using Mediterranean cooking techniques, right? And that's how I created the cream, is using Mediterranean cooking techniques. Now, you've had the cream, right? You've smelled it. All right, excellent.
Yeah, this is Intra-Leaf whole leaf relief, and this is a cannabinoid clay, a CBD clay, and I have tried it, and let me show you guys. I've used quite a bit of it already. Thank you very much for this too.
My pleasure.
Yeah, very little to no smell, and this is the clay, and he has a cream, but here's the clay, and it just goes on so nice. And I've used it on my forehead. I use it on my face. I use it on my nose. It's safe, and it doesn't have any odors, really.
Right. It's and honestly, that's the big deal, because a lot of people, especially here in the United States, we don't want to smell like anything. Yes, lemongrass is nice smelling, cinnamon is nice smelling. There's also all sorts of nice smells, right? Yeah. But when you're in pain, you want your pain to go away.
Yeah.
And you don't mind how you smell, honestly. If you're really in a lot of pain, you don't care how you smell. But at the end of the day, if you can find something that doesn't smell and has all of the cannabinoids in it, right? And there's no cannabinoid left behind, right? We don't use the RSO method, or we don't use isolates. We actually use the entire leaf, right? Or in the entire, I don't want to say leaf, I want to say the entire bud or the flower, depending on how you want to call it. So we get a lot of cannabinoids. In that jar, there's over 1,000 milligrams of CBD just in that one jar, which, a lot, and I think this, in the industry, a lot of times they count the milligrams of oil that they put in, right?
Right.
But this one, when you look at our test results, and we have it, third party approved in the whole bit, you get over 1,000 milligrams of cannabinoids. Oh, excellent. Now you got one of our brochures.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so can you elaborate how the topicals and are beneficial and incorporate that into what we're talking about here?
Right. So the reason I did this is because I looked at all the top topicals, and in our brochure, and if you go on our website, intra-leaf.com, you'll see this chart. And what I did is I looked at all the top people, and really, let's see, it's what is it? Something in Barkley? I don't know why.
I don't know. Papa and Barkley. Yeah.
So Papa and Barkley, they really, in my opinion, if I didn't have my product out there, that's the product I would buy, because they also use high fidelity infusion, but their product, they add other things to their product that make it smell, and they add some things that are actually not very good to your skin. They add it in a small amount, not that their stuff harms your skin. I don't want to leave that impression, but they actually have a product that uses all of the cannabinoids, but they're the only major product on the market that does that. Everybody else uses some kind of RSO. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and let's talk about the real value in that. And a lot of people, when you're going and getting things with other, like essential oils, I believe is what you're talking about, you get a scent to it, but that scent came from another product that was being used. And I think that's what we're talking about here. This is like safe to use. It doesn't hurt you. And when you're doing something long-term usage for your pain, if you have rheumatoid arthritis or whatever you're trying to get relief from, if you're using those other types of products that have other oils, other bases in it, it could actually be detrimental to your skin. So this long-term, short-term, long-term, this is a real benefit to you and your skin, is what you're saying.
Yeah. No, that's an excellent point. I also wanted to mention that a lot of the other products, they have other pain relievers in there. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know that cinnamon is a pain reliever, eucalyptus is a pain reliever. So when you put other pain relievers along with the cannabinoids, then you use it, you might get your pain relieved, right? It's not going to be as good as getting it from a cannabinoid, because that lasts a lot longer. We're talking about 2 to 6 hours, right? Twice as long, 3 times as long. If you look at some of the testimonials on our website, when they compare our products to other cannabinoidal products that are on the market, ours lasts 2 to 3 times as long. And like if a product lasts an hour for you, 3 times as long as 3 hours, or if it lasts 2 hours for you, that's like 6 to 9 hours. That's a good night's sleep. There's a lot of people that can't get a good night's sleep because they're uncomfortable, right? So that's really the difference between our product and a lot of the other products that are on the market.
I think it's a great product. I've used it on my neck and in my shoulders, and I've rubbed it in pretty deep to give it a good test run, and I've had some positive response from it. So thank you very much for it. And
my pleasure.
Really, really like it to have an eco-friendly product. How eco-friendly product is your product, I guess?
Well, our process in general is super eco-friendly. If you think about RSO, or if you think about CO2 extraction, CO2 what's that? I'm getting a blank here, but it's bad for the
ethanol extraction.
No. When you're the CO2 extraction, when you use CO2 to extract to get the cannabinoids out, the CO2 goes in the air, and it's a greenhouse gas. That's the word I was looking for.
Got it.
CO2 is a greenhouse gas. So just the process of extraction takes a lot of energy, right? It takes a lot of energy, and sometimes they use material that's not good for the environment. So we're cannabis people, right? We want to be one with the environment. So the process that we use, like I said, it's like cooking something in your kitchen. There's a fermentation aspect to it. That's how we kind of manipulate the flavor. We call it, true full spectrum, as opposed to any kind of extraction, because any kind of extraction, you will leave other cannabinoids behind, and we don't do that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I know you can't really tell us the secret sauce behind that, but thanks for giving us a little sneak peek of it. And so, when
Oh,
people are using this product, how do they get the most out of it?
that's an excellent question. I have a doctor that actually went to Stanford, and we used to live in Menlo Park when I was a child, and she was my English tutor, and my sister's English tutor, and she has a practice in Texas, and I was talking to her about the cream because I really want to get doctors involved in this because doctors have been avoiding cannabis because cannabis, as you know, in Texas is illegal, right? I mean, you can get in serious trouble just by having something that even has a tiny bit of THC in it. So she actually doesn't sell it in her practice. We have other doctors that sell it in their practice, but she's a user of it. And the way she uses it to get the most out of it is she takes saran wrap. She puts it on her leg, and then she takes saran wrap and she
No.
wraps it around it. And she says she gets, a lot more value out of using saran wrap. And I tell you, when I talked to her, I didn't realize she was in pain. I was just trying to get advice from her. And she was actually on the internet looking at snake venom to relieve her pain.
Oh my.
No, seriously. And this is an MD, right? This is an MD. Her husband's an MD. They can write any kind of prescription for each other. I mean, they shouldn't, morally, you don't do that. You go to another doctor.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we have a serious problem, honestly, with opioids and people trying to control their pain. And the cannabis, you put it right where it hurts, and it either works for you, and honestly, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's why, and I think you've seen this on our website, we have a risk-free offer. So we'll send you a small sample. You send us $5, not very much money. We send you a free sample. You try it. If it works for you, you can use that $5 towards a bigger purchase. If it doesn't work for you, we'll send you your $5 back. We'll pay for shipping. It costs you absolutely nothing. But if you're in pain, honestly, if you're in pain and you want to know if cannabinoids, not cannabinoids and eucalyptus or cannabinoids and cinnamon or cannabinoids and any other thing that relieves your pain or aspartame or what have you, if you want to know that cannabinoids can help you, we can help you figure it out.
Yeah.
Send us go to our website, do that risk-free offer. Glad to help you. I mean, it worked on you, correct?
Yeah, it really does. It helped with some of the muscle pain in my shoulder. I had an accident a while back ago, and as we age, our body doesn't heal as fast. So by rubbing that in, it helped reduce some of the like not throbbing, but more of a sharp
How
pain.
long did it? I'm always curious because it's different people. It affects them differently. How long did it last with you?
I tell you, to be quite honest, I think it lasted about 3-4 hours. But I've been taking anti-inflammatories to tell you the truth here, people, listeners. If you can hear, I'm sinusy and my allergies have been acting up. So I was under the influence of some other pain medicine at the same time. So, but around 3 to 4 hours roughly that I could tell, from time of application. I think after I applied, I let it set in for a few minutes, and I can already tell that it worked because I've also used a couple other cannabinoid and cannabis types of pain relief on topically, and I know what I have here I will use, and I like the way it feels. I like the way it, it barely has any smell to it, and it's all it's natural. So you can't not love nature, I don't think. So, you're doing some really great stuff with this. And so what do you see is the state of the industry, and how do you see that coming together with what you're trying to do out there and in California? And how is this, this is another question too, to put on top of that one, but in the state of California, it's legal to make and manufacture THC products, but this is THC free, right? So do you see yourself being able to, or are you capable of doing both THC pain relief and CBD relief?
Yes. And just to be clear, that does have a tiny bit of THC because it's true full spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
but it has less than the legal amount to make it, Right. So you can't get high. You can't get high on it.
Yeah.
It's so, I can see myself doing it because, and I think you and I have talked about this in the past. It has to do with the strain, right? You can get pain relief from THC. You can get pain relief from CBD. But if you have a true full spectrum, and some strains work better than others. So just because you have a true full spectrum from one strain, that doesn't mean you're going to get the same relief from another strain. And we're constantly looking at new strains as they come up. And as you know, I mean, you've been in this a while. You almost get a new strain every day, if not more than one, right? Maybe you'll get 5 or 10 or 100.
Yeah.
But we are looking at different strains to see how the cannabinoids are working together to relieve your pain. Yeah.
And, there's a lot going on in the industry as far as, extractions and isolations. And this is a full spectrum. And so
Right.
that, in my opinion, I believe in full spectrum first and foremost. I don't not believe in isolation forms because I use CBD straight up too, and now CBG is out there, and all the cannabinoids have a use or a purpose. So, but I do like the fact that it is full spectrum. So, thanks for bringing a full spectrum product to market.
No, my pleasure. And really, honestly, we got to differentiate between full spectrum and true full spectrum, right?
Right.
The true full spectrum are people like Papa and Barkley and myself. We're in that true full spectrum in that we don't leave a cannabinoid behind. We're using everything in the flower and the leaf.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going in there. We don't throw anything away. And other methods. I think, honestly, and you asked me where I think the industry is going, I think they're taking a wrong turn when they go and try to isolate each cannabinoid.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's going to be a long way before we find just a single cannabinoid that works by itself. There's something magical about this plant, right?
There is.
And it gives us a hint by, hey, check me out, I'm making you feel good, and that's the THC.
Right.
But then there's a lot of other things in there. And each variety is going to act a little bit different. And
topically, when you're using a product, if it has THC in it, your body doesn't bring it in where you would get a high either. You absorb it, but you don't get a high factor by rubbing it on your skin in a small area.
It's too tiny.
But then the other part of that is if you're a beer drinker and you have a heavy beer, and then you have what is it, a no beer or a like beer? What is it where they take an NA, non-alcoholic beer? So that's what you have. So you have a full spectrum with THC, and then you have like a isolated beer. I don't know if that's a great.
No.
I don't know if I'm saying that right, but
no, it really is, and I just look at the process. The process of extraction is just a really ugly, expensive process. I know a lot of people use it. I'm not trying to knock anybody down. I'm just trying to say, if you have a product and you want to somehow partner and use our method to improve your product, give us a call. We'll be happy to talk with you.
Nice.
Because really, extraction is bad for the environment, no matter how you do it. And it's wasteful. It's incredibly, incredibly wasteful. We have a new methodology that is not very wasteful, and it's more potent. Not only is it better for the environment, not only is it better tasting, but it's actually more potent because we use all of the cannabinoids.
How do you go about sourcing your materials? How do you do that on a larger scale?
So I'm always in small amounts. I talk to different people and I try out what they have. Right. What I'm looking for is a highly potent flower, because the more potent the flower, the less material I have to use, and the more potent the cream is. Right. So I want to try to get that over 1,000 milligrams of cannabinoids inside of my cream. So quality is very, very important when it comes to doing it the way we're doing it. If you're doing extraction, yeah, it's a little more expensive to use the waste or the stuff that can't really sell, and you can get it potent that way. But with us, we really need a decent flower. There's a company, I don't want to say that, it's a farm in the Santa Cruz Mountains that I deal with. Actually, the owner is another MD. He's a doctor. I source from them. They're very into organic. They're not fully certified organic yet because it takes time to do that. You can't just overnight become certified organic, but they do everything. They're doing it right now, and I think by the end of the year or the beginning of next year, they'll get their certification. So it's a natural, the way they do it is, I'm not a grower myself. I'm not an expert in growing, but they actually do a good job. And I'm open to working with other farmers as long as they can get me a quality flower, something with a high cannabinoidal percentage count, right? Like into the 20s, into the 25. They can get into the 30s. Some people claim it. I haven't seen it because we do our own testing, because they'll tell us one thing and they'll give us the test results, but we go and test it just to make sure that we're getting what they say that they're delivering.
Oh yeah, you have to. I think that's called quality control.
Yeah. And by the way, I know you're into the hemp. I know you have hemp farmers. So if you want to introduce me to people who are growing quality hemp that you think might even improve our product even more, I'm happy to talk to them.
Sure. I can put you on in touch with a couple of people out in your area. I can maybe you already know who they are, but so thank you for that. What type of partnerships or affiliations do you have getting your product out to market?
So we're focused on MDs. A lot of people, think of this as, what's the word? I don't want to say holistic doctors or people who are not who are trying to use alternative type medicine. We don't think it's an alternative type medicine. I think it's great that it started with alternative medicine, but I honestly think it should be used in the medical industry. If you have something that lasts 2 to 3 times longer than anything out there and doesn't have any side effects, why are doctors prescribing it? Why are they using a cream? One of the creams that we saw at one doctor, and it's not very expensive. It works very well, but it's illegal in Europe because it causes heart disease. Imagine a cream that you put on your body causing a heart disease. Why do we have it here in the United States? Why are doctors even talking about it? Why is Walgreens or other pharmacies selling it? They really shouldn't be. I think we're going to move beyond, alternative. We're going to be the main medicine when it comes to managing your pain and pain control. And that's really my goal is to talk to as many doctors. COVID has really put we've been really, really busy with the doctors that we currently deal with, but COVID has slowed us down. We expect it to be a lot bigger than we are by now. But as you know,
it's hard to get face to face and really get your product out there into their hands if you can't even see them. So it is challenging. But for the people that are out there listening, and you can get this online too. So you can go to www.leaf.com, and you can go online there and check them out and get in contact with them. So you can have their product. It is a great little product. And, the beautiful thing, like you said, is that there's like no smell, and that's awesome. You can't say no to that. I think it's a great product, and I appreciate everything that you're doing, trying to make a better pain relief. And I love topicals. I just love it. Whether it's a simple oil or a cream or a salve and I don't like the smell. I'm one of those guys that don't like the perfumes. I do use essential oils, but I use them sparingly. And then for a product like this, I don't. The real cool thing is it's not greasy or oily. I can snap my fingers, which is another great thing about your product. I can show everybody here. I have it on my finger and I can still snap my fingers, right? And that's a beautiful thing. Adeeb, where did you go? Hello? I lost you. Let me pause this for a second. All right, guys, as you know, I did that little test for you guys, that snapping, and that really means something. When you have something that shows it's not greasy. I don't know how you did that, but it's like magic in a jar. Something non-greasy, something that's oil-free, fragrance-free, full-spectrum CBD, fast-acting, and long-lasting, all in a jar. That is great value. So
thank you.
Yeah,
very
I love it. And so, we're going down the path of health and wellness. What else are you doing with your company? And I think you're doing some charitable things. So can you elaborate on that for us and tell the people what you're doing?
Sure. I used to ride the train with a very one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. She was an attorney. She used to defend big companies, which doesn't seem like a noble thing to do. But what I liked about her, she refused to defend tobacco companies. There was a line that she wouldn't cross, and there was just something very smart about her. And I remember talking to her about Warren Buffett, and what they owned some shares in Berkshire Hathaway. And what Warren does is, instead of deciding what charity he wants to donate to, he lets his shareholders decide for themselves, and he will put money for them. And that's what I do with Intra-Leaf. So if you buy my product, right, 10% will go, 10% of the total amount, not the profit, 10% of the purchase amount will go to a charity. Of course, we're going to vet the charity. It's not going to be it has to be a legitimate charity. We'll go to the charity of your choice. And you can share, and we'll send you a code to put in there. And if you want to give it to friends, once they purchase the product, if they put in that code, 10% will go to that, 10% of their purchase price will go to that charity. So we're not going to tell you what charity is important to you. We want to know what charities are important to our customers, and we want to give to those charities.
That's very admirable. That's really nice. It opens it up, and I like that thinking, and giving more power to the people. I like that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I wish I came up with it, but it's a Warren Buffett thing. But I like it. I like it, and I want to implement it with what I do.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I really, really appreciate you gifting me this and being a guest on our show here called The Hemp Chat, where we're here to inspire, educate, and innovate, and coming up with new innovative technologies like this. This isn't even really a technology. It's innovative, It's putting a couple of ingredients together and making something amazing, and there is other innovations that are being made always. And when you have the opportunity to work in your kitchen, come out with something amazing that you can produce and help heal people. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. And honestly, coming from you, it means a lot, because you've been in the industry a long time. You've seen a lot. You've done a lot. And you continue to do a lot. So coming from you and getting those compliments really do mean a lot.
Adeeb, I appreciate it. We're here only for a minute, right? And the seconds pass by. We try to make every second count and just doing the best we can. So, you're on a mission, and I always try to ask my guests, make sure I asked you everything that I needed to ask you. And then I always want to ask my guests, how do you see making the world a better place? It can be with your product. It can be something, just anything. How do we make the world a better place?
Honestly, I'll give you a philosophical answer to that. I think that's a great question. Um, I think we make the world a better place by overcoming our fears, right? By really overcoming our own limitations. I think the United States of America has gotten a bad rap because of some of the things that we do. But at the end of the day, to me, the reason my family immigrated to this country is because it was all about the individual. It was all about us making ourselves better, and that helps everybody else. So getting the opportunity, and right now it's the wild, wild west with hemp, with CBD especially. And you get somebody small like me who gets to put out a product that really will compete with some of the best products that are out there. And you really couldn't do that in a country where there's a lot of rules, a lot of laws, and that they don't respect the individual, and our ability to help each other. So I would say fear. Fear is our biggest enemy, and if we overcome our fear, there is no limit to what we can do.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. Fear is, wow, it's real, right? And so, you hear of not only the fear factor, but there's so much fear out there, and it's simple to put the fear out there. So what I'm getting at is cannabis was, you know, discontinued no longer due to the fear factor.
Exactly.
If you smoke this, you'll become a raper or killer. If you smoke this, you're a drug addict. But the fear was taken so far out of proportion. Um, it's not true. The fear is it, you can heal with this, and I think that's what big industries were afraid of. It's competition, so they had to use fear to get it out of our system. But now it's back, and people are educated. People are understanding. You know, this medicine's been here a long time, and there's
Yeah.
nothing to fear from this medicine.
Yeah, and honestly, I would even take it to the other side. Don't be afraid. We shouldn't be afraid being in the cannabis industry to point out things that are. This is still a drug. I mean, at the end of the day, this is still a drug. So it's okay if somebody has side effects to it. A lot of people harass Alice Moon for talking about what has happened to her with cannabinoids or with the fact that she can't use anymore. And I have a lot of respect for that young lady. I think she's very brave. I don't think you can say whatever you want about her motivations, but I really respect what she does. And we shouldn't be afraid of the side effects of cannabinoids, because we can do so much more. We can help so many people with the positive effect than the negative effect. And yes, we have to face the fact that the negative effect is there, and we got to figure out a way around it. But let's not stick our head in the sand and say it doesn't exist. And I don't know if you agree with that or not, but that's really my feeling.
Well, I agree with the fact that we have to be responsible humans, right? We have to be responsible. Don't put fear out there. Let's speak the truth. Be transparent. You brought up Alice Moon. She was a guest on the show a couple of weeks back ago. She's expressing that she has allergic reactions to doses of cannabis. Probably she overconsumed and she messed up her system, whatever. But the truth of the matter is, it can have injury, as you're stating. It is a drug. You have to be responsible. And when you're making and manufacturing products, quality products like this, there's a lot that goes into it. And let's try not to have so much fear in the world. And it's always good to love and hug somebody,
Yeah, exactly.
So, Adeeb, I really appreciate it. The founder of Intra-Leaf, Whole Leaf Relief. Go ahead and check them out if you haven't. See what they're all about online. Go to www.intra-leaf.com and go ahead and get a hold of Adeeb and their company there. Ask your questions. Go ahead and get a sample risk-free, like you heard him say. Really great products, and I appreciate what you're doing out there trying to make a topical really healthy for ones to consume, and I like it. So thank you very much.
Derek, a true pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on.
You betcha. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. All right, guys. We had Adeeb on, and I appreciate everything that he's brought to this podcast. The information is here. His company, Intra-Leaf. Okay, guys. We talked and touched on something really important, and that's about the fear. And you guys don't need to fear this. You need to learn more about the hemp and cannabis and how beneficial it can be for you. And whether you're putting it on topically in a hemp seed oil, pardon me. Our sponsor is Hemp Sense. So hemp seed, by taking a hemp seed oil, putting it on your skin if you have psoriasis, eczema, something like that, getting hemp into your diet in the forms of hemp seed, protein powder, hemp seed oil. You can take it instead of a fish oil supplement. It's a great balance of omega-3, 6, and 9, highly digestible protein. And by weight, it has more protein than beef, chicken, or eggs. So you guys learn more about hemp seed, hemp oil, and what we're talking about with Intra-Leaf is a CBD cannabinoid clay, And so great value here. And you guys are really going to appreciate this product. And I want to thank Adeeb for being an innovator in the space and actually putting a great quality product, look at all that, to market. And that's what it takes to be successful in the hemp and or cannabis space. And the proof is always in the pudding. And as I always say, you guys love somebody. Get out there, go hug somebody, and let's make the world a better place. I'm Derek Cross. This has been the Hemp Chat, and I thank you very much. And if you guys would like to be a guest on the show, by all means, let us know. You can contact us on our Contact Us page, or go to our website, inbox me on Facebook, like and subscribe to our Facebook channels. Tell all your friends. Hit us up on Spreaker. Go ahead and follow us there if you're not there. I know we're all over, syndicated everywhere, and I want to say thank you to everybody out there taking the time out of their day to learn more about hemp with us. And please, by all means, reach out, contact us if you got some new ideas. You want to be a guest? Love to hear from you guys. Any other feedback, please let us know. Like and subscribe to our stuff, and check out www.hempsenseusa.com. Greatly appreciate it, buddy, and have a hemp healthy day. You just listened to the Hemp Chat, the show that inspires, educates, and innovates. Together, we are planting seeds of wellness for the people and the planet. So go ahead, plant it.